Food scientists in the United States and in Russia and in the other partner countries prepare food for us in 16-day cycles. What that means is that for any given individual, we can go through a menu for 16 days and not see the same combination of items on 2 consecutive days. After the 17th day, we'll start with the first day again. Food comes up to us in containers like these here. The ones with the red label contain Russian food items. The ones with the blue label contain food from the United States or one of the other Western partner agencies. Each container also is identified with the type of food that's inside as well. So, for example, the blue one that I'm holding contains meats in pouches in cans. And the red one that I'm holding contains a general selection of Russian food cans and thermal stabilized products.
As you can see around our dinner table, this is a table for 6. We don't have plates. Of course, we don't need plates in space because, again, everything would just float away. As I can demonstrate as well with this chocolate drink here, you can just leave it in front of you. You don't need to put it on the table. It just stays where it is. Also for eating, we usually don't eat knives and forks because everything is pre-cooked, everything is is ready for us to eat. So we typically eat with spoons. So here I have one of my spoon containers that I have here, and will shortly demonstrate how we eat with spoons on board of the ISS.
Another type of food that we eat is fresh food. Periodically, a vehicle will come and visit the space station. We're expecting the space shuttle to arrive in the next 3 or 4 days. Or a Progress cargo vehicle will arrive. And in those occasions, we can bet that there will be fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. We don't keep fresh fruit and vegetables on board the station because we don't have a large fridge to store all of them for long periods of time. But for the first few days or weeks after a cargo vehicle or the shuttle has visited, we do have some fresh fruit and vegetables. Frank is opening a container of rehydrated fruit. He'll open it very carefully with a pair of scissors. As long as the food sticks to itself, it's safe to be opened up. Liquids will need to be eaten or drank with a straw. And it's important, since we share utensils, to always wipe them off between each use so that the next person may feel comfortable using the utensil or the pair of scissors. Now with the package open, Frank will use his spoon and take out some, what is this, Frank?
These are berries. It's a medley of berries with sugar. It's very tasty, actually.
So he'll get it to stick to his spoon and then slowly bring it up to his mouth. If he moves fast, then the berry will go on its own trajectory and might miss Frank's mouth.
One of the other things that we have here in the space station to eat is actually bonus food. Bonus food is very good because it contains a selection of food that we really like and that we can choose ourselves. Of course, they still need to meet certain shelf life, so it means that they cannot go off in the time that we are here on board. But one of the examples of the bonus food that I have here in front of me is sausage, for example, Italian sausage, which is, of course, very nice to eat, which I share with all my crewmates. Bob brought already for tonight some clams. And this is always, of course, in favor. And as I said, eating on board of the space station, like Earth, but even more so here, I think, is a very social occasion. So most of our bonus food and goodies that we have, we share with our crewmates because it's more a pleasure to share than to enjoy it by yourself.
I have one more bonus food item here, which is not part of the standard space station menu. This is a special type of granola bar made with maple sugar. I'm Canadian, so I have a special fondness for the taste of maple sugar. All of the bonus food items all need to be flight qualified. That means that food scientists will test that they don't contain any microbial contamination that might cause ill health amongst astronauts. Frank is enjoying his medley of berries, and I'm going to try some thermal stabilized pears.
One of the other aspects, of course, by eating in space is that we still have some waste. As you see, the packages, they are quite small. They are made as tiny as they can, but there still are waste that we need to take care of because we have very little space on board here of the International Space Station. That's why usually we are very careful when we eat. Every package that we open is eaten up completely. We don't waste any food here because it's very expensive to bring the food up to the space station. And then once the packages are empty, we pack them as small as we can, and then we put them in one of those little bags, as Bob can show here. Also these bags we put as full as we can, and then once they are full, then they go into the Progress, and then they burn up on re-entry to Earth. But we are really very careful in packing our stuff and in taking care of the environment here on the ISS. For example, I was using there a small wipe. I have it here, a small wipe to clean my utensils. Usually a wipe like this we try to use it for at least 2 or 3 days. We cannot afford every time to use a number of wipes to wipe our utensils because this would make it way too much garbage here on the space station.
We live inside a spacecraft. That means that we're sheltered from the sun. Sunlight is actually helpful because exposure of our skin to sunlight on Earth allows our body to produce vitamin D. Living in a spacecraft, our body's unable to do that. So part of our daily routine is to take 2 vitamin D tablets, and we take a total of 800 units, which helps to maintain strong, healthy bones in space. The vitamin D tablets come up with our food packages, so we're prompted or reminded to take vitamin D. It's also interesting that each crew develops a fondness for one particular food item. One of our favorites to eat for this crew of Expedition 20 is tortillas. They're contained inside this package here, spread with honey, lots of honey. And that's one of our favorites. We all finish off our meal each night with tortilla with honey. It sounds like a strange combination, but believe me, after you've been in space for 45 days, it's a real thrill.
So this was it for our food tasting session of today. It was really a pleasure that you could join us for it. It's really nice that you see as astronauts that we can do all of this, but it's also really nice, I think, for the nutritionists and the scientists that work in our food labs to be able to support this. So if you're interested in food, maybe you can also go for a space career.
That's it from the International Space Station. We hope you find the subject of food and nutrition aboard the International Space Station interesting. Goodbye.